trees can tell a million stories. They are the very core of life in itself. The trees are the roots to home. The trees are lost.
The trees can tell a million stories. They are the very core of life itself. The trees are the root to the home. The trees are gods.
And it's millions and millions of years old, and the stories that this tree could tell, it could tell a million stories. It's so beautiful and so elegant, awe-inspiring, jaw-droppingly, gobsmackingly lovely, isn't it, do you think? Quick, film it. Oh, if only I could get in there to hug it, but these boundaries, these gates, they stop me. Shall I try?
No.
Would I get...
No,
what?
I don't think.
What?
It's ancient.
But what would happen if I did cross the gate and go over there? Look at its sister over there. Do you think that's its ancestor? Do you think that's his sibling? Or her? I mean, it could be hermaphrodite or unisex, whatever trees are called when they're... whatever. Shall I go and hug it?
No.
I have this insatiable desire to hug it.
Okay, but we can't.
But why not?
Because they put a barrier here.
But we've come all this way. I mean, it would just seem absolutely ridiculous not to, wouldn't it? I'm gonna hug it.
No.
Why? I can feel the transmutants from ancient times. If only for a few moments, it was worth it. I'll have to come back some other day when there aren't so many tourists around. And then I'll be able to really feel what this tree is trying to tell me. Because I can speak tree tongue. I didn't really get time. You're supposed to be filming me as well sometimes because this is a documentary. I didn't really get time to feel or listen to much of what was going on. All I got was a few incoherent mumbles and jungles that I really couldn't pick up. It would take me at least 10 minutes for me to be able to pick up some of the jargon that this tree was trying to tell me. But from what I did get from those few seconds of hugging was that it's seen a lot of changes around the atmosphere and the environment, and he's lonely. He misses other trees that were once here,
there's his
grounded
sister,
with
isn't
him.
it? So
No, well, I didn't get that far, see. I would need longer to find out what this tree actually means to him. I will come back and I will try to get the full story, but I do know that he's lonely and he misses a lot of his ancestors. Laugh.
you're still not convinced. I'm still not
Well, I'm going to
convinced.
have to cut that bit out, aren't I? So...
This is my story. We have a large podium stage for all kinds of religious people in this world to express and liberate. For many years that has been possible for the mainstream religions, cults and faiths, but I'm here now to liberate you all on the world of tree huggers. I am a self-confessed tree hugger, and I have nothing to hide. Trees come in many forms, shapes and sizes. Not one of them is the same as the other. They're all very individual and very special in their own ways. The deep-rooted, jaw-droppingly large trees speak to you in what can only be described as tree tongue. It mumbles and almost chants in a deep, bellowing, soulful voice. It's a mumble you can work out when you have the know-how. The trees don't prejudice. They love us all. They don't care that I'm a homo. They don't care if you're ethnic, Caucasian, Asian or Malaysian. They are unified. as we all should be, with no discrimination.
This one's got carbuncles, bless him. Wonder if it hurts.
That looks like elephant from the other side.
It does, doesn't it? In fact, I think this one is saying something to me. You see, some of these trees, they've actually been involved in a horrible storm, tornado type of thing, which was swept across New South Wales and Queensland, and as you can see, it's left behind a trail of devastation. Most of the trees have actually been picked up and taken away since then, so fortunately we don't have to see the aftermath of the massacre. But they feel, they feel the agony and the sorrow of losing trees that once stood beside them, trees that once unified them and grounded each other, rooted each other. Do you know what though? Also, I feel like I have to talk about how Queensland government are so hell-bent on chopping down forests after forests, lush rainforest after rainforest, all in the name of capitalising, just so they can build more ugly structures and buildings and casinos to make more money when they already have a thriving economy boom. So why kill nature? Because not only are they killing these poor, beautiful, ancient trees, but they're also killing the koala bears. The koala bears then have to go and find habitat elsewhere, often getting killed in the process, often getting killed when the trees are relentlessly pulled down. And then they try and cross the roads to find new forests, new homes for themselves, and inevitably sometimes get caught in the headlights and killed. So it's not just the trees we're talking about here. I can't talk anymore now. I think we're going to have to move on elsewhere. Okay. This tree is dying and he's calling out for help. Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. I'm coming. If only just to give him one last piece of hope, just to show that somebody actually does care. Somebody does care. It's okay. Don't worry. One last friend to mumble your last words with. It hasn't got long left. I can feel the end is very imminent. It's close. But we have to talk to him one last time just to find out, where do they go? Where do they go after life? Do they just become moss? Do they just become earth and soil? Maybe come back as another tree in another life. Who knows? Who knows? Don't you feel the sorrow? Do you not feel any of this?
No.
Huh? Well, lay down next to it and hug it, and maybe you will. Maybe you'll feel something.
Honestly, I'll speak to you. It's okay.
Yeah?
Cynical.
It's quite an interesting tree, this, actually.
If you really open your mind and ask it, it'll tell you how old it is.
No. It's been a crocodile.
But it needs to know you believe.
It was a
It's
crocodile.
like a clairvoyant or a medium trying to get in touch with the dead.
It
If the
told
dead really
me.
don't believe that they believe in them, then they're not going to get in touch with them.
Queensland and New South Wales hold some of the most beautiful, awe-inspiring rainforests in the world. Many trees have been here, or at least their own kind, since ancient times. Queensland, more so than New South Wales, now feels compelled to join this capitalist war we endure to cut down any part of nature and beauty which stands in its way, to erect even more ugly slapdash buildings for its ever-increasing economy boom, until sometime in the future, if not imminently, all you will see before your eyes would be a generic cacophony of greed and ugliness where beauty and tranquility once stood. New South Wales, however, do have a far more stringent stance on the obliteration of nature. Much of the natural land is protected, and many forests have been and will remain untouched. For now.
What is this tree telling you?
She's telling me.
Oh, it's a she.
Yes, it's a she.
Okay.
She's telling me she has a right to life, too. Why should it just be humankind that has the privilege of living their lives without fear, without concerns, without being chopped down relentlessly, without nobody caring about them whatsoever, nobody giving them a solitary thought? Well, hardly anyone anyway. Why should it just be humans that do that, that get that?
You've got a bit of tree on your face now.
It doesn't matter. When you're at one with the nature, when you're at one with the trees, it doesn't matter. It's flesh. It's skin. It's bone. It's us. Don't you understand? Do you still not understand now? We should be amalgamated into these trees. So, I first came out to my mother as a tree hugger about almost 20 years ago now, actually. I would occasionally excuse myself from the table whilst we were having another boring dinner conversation. I would walk to the end of the garden in my parents' country mansion, where these beautiful large conifer trees resided, and I would often just sit there for hours and hours and hours, contemplating, deliberating, trying to sort out things that were going on in my head. And one day I just decided I would give this tree a hug, just to see what it was all about, because I'd heard so many things in the past about what it felt like, why people started in the first place, and why people had this great passion and addiction, an obsession to hugging trees. And I just thought I would give it a go and see how it felt, and it felt amazing. It was almost like this surge of tranquility, and the answers to all the problems that I was asking just suddenly overtook me, and I had peace of mind, and I could think rationally and coherently. And from then on, every time that I had a problem, I would need to go down and hug these trees to resolve those problems. And it worked for me. And then I understood why it worked for many other people as well, who are quite often closeted about this because they fear of being mocked and humiliated. Although you do have a lot of self-confessed ones who are out of the closet about it and do speak about it quite candidly. And good on you for that. Good on us for doing that. But when I first told my mother, because she actually caught me hugging this tree kind of vigorously, and it did look like I was in an uncompromising situation, but I had to explain to her for days that it was nothing like that. I wasn't trying to get my rocks off or anything like that at all. She just didn't understand. She didn't understand at all. She screamed at me. She called me tree-hugging bastard, freak, nonce, all kind of words, all kind of horrible words that came out of her mouth. My father couldn't eat for 3 weeks flat. But eventually they came round and they realised that I wasn't alone in this, and that actually, maybe, it was better than becoming an alcoholic or a drug user or anything else. But then of course when she found out I was gay, there was another issue she had to deal with. But anyway, they accept me now for what I am, and I implore all of you out there who are scared to admit what you are to just say it.
So, excuse me.
Yes.
Question. You say that you can basically, by holding or hugging a tree, touching it, you can
Yes.
tell how old it is.
Absolutely.
Right. But you know how normal people tell how old they are?
Okay, well, how?
Basically, you count the rings, and by that you can see how old they are.
Yes, that's right. Of course you can. Yes, of course. But there are people, gifted people, talented people who
Gifted?
can also. I believe that I'm gifted with this ability to be able to speak to trees. So we can also tell the age that way. There are many ways, many different ways that you can tell the age of a tree. You can tell about the life of a tree, and you can hear its thoughts. What better way to hear its thoughts than to just look at rings?
Right.
Stripped bare naked by nature. But does that warrant the behaviour of these types of people who will carve into the tree their names, hurting this poor innocent tree who's already been hurt enough? You need some love.
Don't you find it strange that it's your name?
He's trying to get up.
I think you just hurt him.
Rowan, I'm sorry. He's trying to get up, but he's saying there's no way on earth he can now.
No, because you just broke him.
No, because of that. He's huge. He's massive. Look at him. But this is it. This is where he'll lay. Lay to rot.
Yeah, but he died. Really lay and rot underground. He's lucky he can lay and rot
Am I ever going
overground.
to get any sentimental shots done without you speaking over me? Thank you. What nest is that up there? Have you seen any koala bears resting in the forks?
No.
Do you think there's enough eucalyptus trees here?
I felt that we should show a different perspective into the world of tree huggers, break down the stereotypes that have been portrayed over the years. We aren't afraid of nature. We grab it by the balls and tug hard. When there's so much violence, hatred, gluttony and bigotry in the world, all this does is connect people like us closer to the more rooted, organic and peaceful joys of life.
And then,
Excuse me.
yeah.
So, the spots, does it mean anything?
The spots are like a tree's equivalent of acne, and basically age, sunlight, and basic.
So he's this one. He is in puberty.
Yes, you could say that.
Right.
Theoretically, yes, you could. Are these eucalyptus trees? Now, I can't talk to really thin, emaciated trees because there's not enough body for me to be able to communicate. You need great, big, humongous, robust trees.
Baby tree talk.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
You can't talk baby tree tongue.
Are you trying to be facetious?
No. But you're saying that you can't understand the baby trees.
No, that's right. They're too immature to be able to speak to on that kind of level. The tree tongue is almost developed when it's a much more mature
What's up the
darkness
mushroom?
within the tree. It's been burnt. It was a victim. I can tell this because it's actually trying to communicate to me without even touching it. So this one's desperate.
Well, touch it.
Yeah,
want to
maybe I
find
can
out.
get more. Maybe I can get more.
Let me film you.
Okay.
Watch out, there's spiders.
Right. Okay. She was a victim of a bushfire.
Right.
That much I do know, that much she can communicate. She's rather withered and weary.
But she's dead?
No, of course she's not. Trees, they don't have the ability to communicate in the afterlife. I still don't know where they go in the afterlife. That one I still need to find out. It's a conundrum. But she's weary, she's tired, she's sad.
Shall we cut her down? Ain't her life?
Sometimes it's actually euthanasia in this sense. It's actually for the best. Which is why it's not funny. Which is why we need people.
Euthanasia.
Which is why we need people to understand that trees can communicate. Trees talk to us. Trees are alive. And as soon as people realise that, then they will do what's best for
So
the
how
tree,
old
for
is
the
she?
dying
How
living
old is
tree.
she?
She's 120. Don't be embarrassed, Johan. Honestly, all it takes is one hug and then you're hooked. Just succumb to its world, succumb to its thoughts. Listen carefully. Can you hear anything? Can you hear anything? What's it saying?
Yeah,
What?
not quite. Maybe I should get skin to bark. I'll hear better. Hold
Skin to bark? What are you talking about?
on. I'll hear better.
What on earth are
My
you doing?
skin is against. Hold on.
You think it would work better to have your skin against his skin?
It is. It's becoming
Or her
clearer.
skin? I'm not quite sure because he's not talking to me.
No, it's becoming clearer.
Can you really?
Oh, you should hear the stories of this one. But you probably won't understand.
What do you mean? I can interpret, I can translate it, okay?
Right. It says hambre.
Hambre.
It says tengo hambre.
What are you talking about?
It's Spanish, the tree.
That's hilarious.
No. It's
Okay.
Spanish.
Okay, I think we can wrap this documentary up now. But you know what we need? Put your top back on quickly, because if we do get caught in here by some park patrol warden, they're going to think we're doing some homemade pornos. Quickly, hurry up. Now you're getting this because it's all just coming ad hoc, okay? None of this is improvised, okay? This is real. It's more of a deep bellowing mother tongue. It's good to get the whole circumference of the tree, because then you can really feel its deep seated. Oh my god, is that a redback? And then you can really get to feel all of the stories and hear them all.
Is that the language the tree speaks to you?
Shh.
I don't understand.
It's tree tongue. How many times have I told you about tree tongue and I'm fluent? What's the point of doing this if you don't believe in me? Huh? Stop it.
I'm sure maybe
Stop it.
one day I'll
Stop it, you've ruined it.
Maybe one day I'll understand. Tree tongue. Come speak to him. He's saying you need to come and speak to him. I'm starting to speak tree tongue.
Listen to what I have to say. They're on me, cutting me, and they aren't going away. I'm bleeding to my core. Years of growth fall to the floor. Is there no end to our massacre? When will people see we all have character? Is this really what you need to do? Kill us all and more money for you. Stop the slaughter before it's too late. Before all you see is a world key lock and gate.
This here is an old friend of mine. I've known him for 3 years, and yes, he's got a lot of stories to tell. He's been worn, torn, scorned. He's seen a lot of sorrow and a lot of heartache, and he needs a hug from me. Hello, my friend.
The trees could tell a million stories. They are the very core of life itself. The trees are the root of the hope. The trees are gods. The trees could tell a million stories. The trees could tell a million stories. They are the very core of trees of life. The trees are the root of the hope. The trees are gods.
The trees are gods. They are the very core of life itself. trees are the trees contain stories. They are the very core of life in itself. The trees are the roots, the home. The trees are the stories. They are the very core of life in itself. The trees are the roots, the home. The trees are lost.